Hey y'all, I hope that you have had an excellent day investing with God and learning everything about real estate, investing, and everything just investing in general. So today I went to Raleigh, North Carolina, and we went to a rooftop and we learned about house flipping, what to look for, live cold calling, which was great. It was a workshop about 12 weeks to close with Bill Harloff. And there was also a general contractor slash home inspector named Ryan and LaDonya, a real estate agent who's also a coach and a real estate advisor. And she was just so humble and great and kind and had some really great advice. And then David was there from the trio, and he talked about real estate broker and lending, and Mr. Lavelle was there and he talked about, when he started with real estate investing, it was just like some extra cash to fix and flip. And then he was like, man, I wish I would have buy and hold. And that, y'all, is my ultimate goal, is buy and hold. Okay, for multiple properties, not just like two. I want like, you know a big number. And Ladronya, she has over 90 properties, commercial and like single family home, residential, things like that, which is great. They talk about you want to look for people who are having life changing events, like people who are going maybe through a divorce, retiring, want to move. And we're the problem solver. We are the problem solver, and we're doing things with integrity, which is great. And they said everything can be fixable, and if it's like smelly, if it's looking bad, if it's looking like it's being torn down, if it can be fixed, that smells like money. Okay, that looks like money. um you know so Ryan, he has a lot of expertise, and he said that if he sees a home that is like a 2 bed 1 bath, he's like, oh, maybe we can add another bedroom, even if we have to change the septic tank out to make it a 3 bedroom 2 bath to add value. Pivot. Don't let others place their fear on you. Just pivot. Believe what God told you and hold that true in your heart. Have a strategy, um, have a plan, look at the investment and see what the purpose is of that money that you have. Give every dollar, every dime that you have a purpose so that you can use your income to make more money. What's your why? What's the goal? What do you want to achieve out of it? Be that one and own it, and create that legacy for your family. Even if you're the one who's the generational curse breaker, who's doing something that your family has never done, they've never seen a trailblazer like you before. Do it anyways, because God set that in your heart for a reason, and have a plan. And if that plan don't work out, there's plan B and there's plan C, and you can always pivot. Partner with people who will cover your gaps. Like if someone else has a strength in numbers, or if someone else has a strength in, construction, whatever someone else has a strength in, you know, you want to partner with people who will cover your gaps and who will also walk in the light and do things in integrity. Some of the biggest things to look at is price, condition, and location for commercial and residential real estate. Your network is your net worth. I have been seeing this, y'all, and this is not for the event, but this is for something else. I met this guy. I have been taking his course on tax liens and tax deeds. His name is Ken, and I have made $1,500. I made all the money that I put in for the course back by referrals. I mean, isn't that great? That is just like, and it's a whole year learning about tax liens and tax deeds. If you're interested, leave me a comment or a DM and I can get you involved. Think big enough, soon enough. Don't think small. Don't be put in someone else's box. Don't think, but also be humble at the same time, knowing that there's someone that always knows more than you. I mean, you're not going to know all the answers, and that's okay. That's okay. Just take the first step, take action. If you can see it, it can happen. If you can see it, you can achieve it. If you can dream it, you can achieve it. Okay? Making money, doing this real estate investing, it's a personal journey. You have to overcome internal barriers. There's this really good website called siesta dot, I might be pronouncing that wrong. Stessa.com, STSSA.com. It's an AI tool that evaluates your property for free and it's made for investors. Isn't that great? Now that we have AI, we can partner with AI too and take a lot of like the little things out of the way so that we can focus on the big things. Have a CPA, have a trust advisor. You also want to look at your FICO score, and Credit Karma is more for like credit cards. There's, you know, credit scores for cars, and there's credit scores for mortgage. You want to get your whole FICO score, even if you have to pay the $30, if that's something you need help with, so that you can get you know um money to do your deals. You may want to look at your FICO score and you want to get everything. You want to make sure there's accuracy on the addresses. You want to make sure there's accuracy on the name. If there's an account that needed to be closed out, that it's closed out, that all late payments and judgments are removed. Sometimes there will be a father and then there'll be a son that have the same name, and they'll put them on the same score, which is not good. Or there may be like someone who's totally different and then their stuff is affecting yours. So don't wait for like a third party to do it. Just sign up. If it's the $30 or $40, call them, because they're going to take you serious since you're paying the $40 as the customer. And just dispute whatever you need to dispute. Just fix it, so that you can be credible, so that everything is accurate and everything reflects, what it should. Now, what a lender will do, sometimes they will do a rapid rescore. Like, say someone has a 690 and they need it to be a 700. They will, set up something where you can pay something off early and get that bumped up really quickly. But, if you're not working with a lender and you don't have the rapid rescore stuff that they do, just go on that myfico.com and you can get that fixed. You want to know how to create passive income so money works for you. They've taught people, okay, get a job, get a 401k, and then retire. Yeah, that can be great. But then there's a lot of people who are retired and they're like, okay, what's next? With inflation and things like that, money can dry up. So you want to make money work for you. So one of the books that he gave us, which I'm excited to read today, was How Money Works. It's like very maybe like a fifth grader, third grader could read it, but it is, you know, very easy to digest. And I haven't read it yet, but I looked at a few pages of it and I cannot wait to read it, because we want to know how money works so our money can work for us. What is your why? Is it legacy? Is it family? Is it community? Besides the 90 properties, Ladranya, she has 7 businesses. Her mother was a single mother. She was in college. She was renting a property, and she went into this real estate agency, and the lady helped her buy her first house and didn't even judge her or anything, and just was like, okay, let's get this done. We need more people like that. So, you can leverage time, money, technology, be inspiring, be encouraged. And if you do anything that you do in your life, you can always learn from it. You can always leverage it. You can always take that experience. Overcome years of limitation. Overcome other people's limitations and overcome their doubts and stuff. Don't let that be what's in your heart. If God's laid something in your heart, you don't have to let their projections come on you. It's good to say no. Have integrity. Say no. If it's not the right deal, say no. If it's a deal you don't like, say no. Don't let yourself or others um try to do something if you don't want to do it. Just say no. Just say no. The power of saying no, okay? Which is great. So much of this, even in life, is psychology, the mind, and overcoming, the mental aspects of things. So the girl that was sitting beside me, she's in my real estate course and she wants to become a general contractor. And they said, yeah, you can read books and you can take the exam, or you can go to the course. And they said basically the course just gives you all the answers, but you also want to partner with someone who really knows what they're doing, because like when you're licensed to be a general contractor, that can be, a very big responsibility. So, and if there's any general contractors up here watching this video, make sure you put your tips in, anything that you advise in the comments. Some people like a buy box. Mr. Lavelle likes a buy box. He likes his buy box to be very short and simple. He wants a 3-2 ranch style, one level, 100 mile radius from Durham, and that's what he likes. Some people don't want to be boxed in. They're like, hey, I just want, any kind of, if it's a good deal, it's a good deal. So every problem has a solution, big or small, whatever you're going through, it has a solution. Renters will give 25% of everything they earn. Can you imagine that? 25% of everything they earn. But I guess some renters, they're like, well, they don't want to have to keep up with the maintenance of this, or they don't want to have to do that. And if that makes them happy, fine, that makes them happy, you know? And but you have to know what's in your heart. If you want to be a owner and you want to rent things out, that's fine too. Whatever makes anybody happy. Sometimes too, when you're buying, you want to know how long has it been vacant. You want to learn. You want to know the details. You want to know um, different things like the AC. When was it last changed? The roof, the square footage. Because if you know those big high ticket items, you will know kind of how much you're going to have to pay for the house. AC, sometimes they're good for like 10 years, roofs, sometimes 10 years. And if you know the square footage of the house, then you know how much you're going to have to replace the roof for. You know how much painting you'll have to do. You'll know how much flooring. And then you get into the windows and things like that. Someone said, know your buy box, don't be a box. um, Mr. Lavelle said that he looks at this as a sport. And he said that he's not a sports guy, but real estate is his sport, and he practices it at least 3 times a week. You want to manage your weight, your health, real estate. Mr. Bill Harloff went up there and he talked about living in truth, being a wise investor, being self aware, and letting your ego go. Ladronia Morris, she said, believe in yourself, write it, receive it, and absorb it. Even though they call a short sale, it's not always a short sale. So, you're in this for the long game, okay? And that's okay. That's how wealth is built, is long term a lot of the times. But hey, we believe in Jesus too, and we believe in restoration. And when He restores a thing, He adds speed. Amen. Have passion, have enthusiasm, be contagious with your enthusiasm. Love helping people, because that's what it's about. There are people looking for you out there with a solution for you to help them. There are 7 strategies to see if someone's a motivated seller. He does a lot of subject to. You have to surrender to Jesus. You have to be truthful and you have to self improve. Get better things around you to get better. Like be self reflective to get better. Money is just a byproduct. It's doing the right thing, having the right timing, a pure heart, and clean hands. And that's what we pray for in the name of Jesus, pure heart and clean hands. In North Carolina, April 21st at 10 a.m., that's when they're going to final about this HB 797 if you're a wholesaler. So you want to be aware of the dates so that you're doing things right and you're not doing things illegal in the state that you're working in. And we know that there's so many investors who work with wholesalers and value wholesalers, so that we pray that that does not go through, because that would even mean that you would have to have a broker license to sell your own house. And honestly, I don't think that's right. If the person wants to sell their own house, they should be able to do so. How to look for motivated sellers, attract venture capital. These are things you should be thinking about. Everything can be done in a sequence. You can, have um, a way that you do it. Don't do sellers wrong. Don't promise a 70-year-old woman that you'll get her out of her house and then not have a buyer, and then here she is moving her stuff. That is wrong, and do not do that. Do not do that. Be a woman or a man of integrity and of your word, and do the best for the seller and for your business so that it can be a win win solution. Okay, because these people are really looking for life changing help, and you can't life change help a person if you don't even have those things in place. So have a plan and do people right. Within your 20-mile GTZ, which is geographic target zone, there are people looking for you to help them. There are people, you can find them on Zillow or wherever. You can put it on, you can call their for sale by owner and just say, hey, I seen that you have this house that's for sale, and negotiate with them, help them out, especially near this time. There's a lot of people during the Thanksgiving and Christmas times. They need help. They're searching and looking for us to help them as investors. If you don't have a tool in your toolbox to provide a solution, partner with other people who may have those tools, and always learn so that you can have as many tools in your toolbox. Connect emotionally with the seller. Don't just go in there and be like, hey, give me your money. No, who wants to give their money to a person like that? Really see what they're going through, emotionally talk to them, see what their motivation is for selling, if they even want to sell. Try to come up with solutions and be there for people. Become unusually determined. Okay, that's what I like. Being unusually determined. Even if you're the first architect in your family, something that no one's ever done, it's never been done, just do it. Everyone on this planet is uniquely designed by God, made in the image of Jesus Christ, made in the image of God. And we are people with different gifts, different attributes, different, all kinds of different things, uniquely made, and we're supposed to help one another. So, find why God uniquely made you and get out there and help, okay? And serve people. If you need to know what to say, we have some strategies that I learned today that you can say. Know what the end strategy is. Begin with the end in mind. So it's not like that 70-year-old lady that's left homeless. Like that's not the intent for these type of deals. And you may know more than you realized you did. You do. Any bad question is a question you didn't ask. Never undermine leadership. Begin with the end in mind again. Don't assume because you know that makes you a be unusually determined and on fire. Do you have a control or ego problem? Self examine and look at yourself. Your thoughts become words, which become actions. Be careful what you're thinking. Like, if it's a thought and you're like, that is not the type of thought that Jesus wants me to have, or even a thought that I want to have, reject that thought. And don't say things that are not thoughts with a line in where you're going. You know, you can be intentional about what you say because these ultimately become actions. Protect your real estate. Give your income marching orders. You want to see at least a 14 to 16% on your return. And we know that houses, even in Charlotte, North Carolina, right now, they're appreciating for 14%. Make it, keep it, multiply it. Don't we love that? Compound, learning about compound interest. You want to make the money. You want to keep the money for your legacy, for your children, for your future, for your children's children. That's what the Bible says. It says a good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children. So we're going to keep it and we're going to multiply it because our God, He is the God of multiplication. Okay. How money works at a high level. So, you know, there's always going to be a time where you're going to make your $1 million, and then you're going to want to scale to make your $5 million, and then you're going to want to scale to make your $10 million, and then you're going to want to scale to make your $20 million. So, there's always, you know, a way to go about these things and to work on getting to a higher level. Rule 72 and learning about compound interest. You know, this was not something that we learned today, but I believe it was Albert Einstein who was thought to be crazy, and he was the like one who was knowing about all this compound interest, and it really does work. If you can compound, if you can start at 25, 18 years old and start compounding, you can. If you start with $100 by the time you're 25, you can be a millionaire by the time you're 65 with just off of $100, just off $100. Okay, so keep the mind in goal, focus, hit those goals and those targets. You know, you want to be able to carry your family on vacation. You want to be able to put your money to work. You want to be able to do these things. And if you're going to do these things, you want to conduct yourself as a business. So you're going to set up your LLC for $125. You're going to pay no more than 70% of the ARV minus repairs. And something I learned in the past is you always want to give for Murphy's Law too. So you're going to add like 10,000 or whatever you feel comfortable in there with. You're going to understand this from a business mindset. You want to know how to separate emotion. Begin with believing, affirmation, and things like that. If you can believe it, if you can conceive it, you can achieve it. You want to get an office space. You want to have an office address. If you really want to do real estate investing and be a real estate investor, have a office set up. Be bold, be courageous. If I am not um, thoroughly embarrassing myself, if that's what he said, by my offer, then I paid too much. Okay. Find some for sale by owners for $300,000 and negotiate them down 10,000. Don't cherry pick. You never know what the seller situation is. Never cherry pick. Don't go through and be like, I like this house. I mean, look, is that your goal? Is that your goal? If it is, then hey, but the advice was not to cherry pick. Deliver value. In a world that is just time is passing for people, and people need answers and the truth, you want to deliver some value. And you may even get a big fat check. And that's okay, because God is the God of abundance. You want to pay yourself a portion first, at least 10 to 20%. You want to pay yourself at least 10 to 20%. The rest disappeared in the business. Do not worry about that. You want to pay yourself, but you don't want to go, especially don't want to commingle and things like that. Want success? Program your life for freedom. Business model that has been broken over years is them telling people, okay, just get a 401k, just work your job. You want to learn how to scale. You want to learn how to make your money work for you. You want to program yourself for success. Everything is a process. Don't judge the next person. Okay? Don't judge people. In North Carolina, you want to know about the footing. You want to know about the different things that are important in this state. This is a deed of trust state, so you want to know those type of things. This is also a state of probate. You want to know these type of things. There's 3 parties involved with the stuff, but I forgot to get I didn't get the third one. It's borrower, lender. If they're late, they have 30 days and then they report it on the credit. If it's 60 days and they get mail, and then 90 days. But you know that it is actually illegal for the lender to let people know that they are late on their bill, their mortgage. And then you have all these things out there that are lead database finders, and that's actually illegal. You just have to reach out to these people, because you have 20 lots and lots of people in a 20-mile radius that need your help. You may want more time with your freedom and with your family, and this could be a vehicle that gets you there. Know what vehicle you're in. 3 bold questions. Okay. The first question you're going to ask when you're on the phone with a motivated seller who may be a for sale by owner or just someone who reaches out with you, you're going to say, if I'm able to pay all cash and close quickly, what is the least amount you will accept? Then say nothing. Okay? They say 200,000. Then you're going to say, is that the best you can do? Say nothing. And they're going to say, well, I guess we could go down some. Are you telling me if I don't give you X amount of dollars today, we can't do business? And they may say, well, we can't do business. Or they may say, yes, we can do business. Let me get back with you. Okay? You can use AI to generate with calling up with these sellers. When you call these people, don't assume that it's a good time to speak with them. You're going to say, hi, Mr. Steve. Did I catch you in the middle of something? May, sorry, may it be, is it a good time to speak? Is it a good time for you? I saw that your house was on Zillow for sale. Don't prejudge, don't pre-select, don't cherry pick. If you get a phone number and it's a Google subscriber, it's a chance that that's an investor, and they're going to know these high ticket prices. They're going to know how to not get you down so much and things like that. They're going to know things about the HVAC, electrical, plumbing. He does a lot of real estate in Florida, and there's a roofing license that you got to have. If you do not have a roofing license, you better not be caught on a roof, because you will be going to jail if you are on a roof in Florida. Know the negotiation cycle. Set up an office. Conduce yourself as a business. Deploy. Okay, I want y'all to get out there, you real estate investors who are investing with God, and deploy your money too. Okay, give it marching orders. Do what you're saying you're going to do, even when the feeling goes away. That is commitment. You're going to do what you said you were going to do. Make a commitment, And I personally feel like this, if a person can't commit themselves to a spouse, or, things like that, and they're working in your business and they're not doing things that are right, I think you should let them go. Personally, I think you should let them go, because, you know, um, it says a lot about a person when they don't value morals and things like that. And when I was younger, I didn't value morals. And you can see a person's life goes down like that. And you know what? Everyone around them, their life goes down like that. So you want to make sure that you have people of value, people who have commitments and have morals and standards around you, and also hold yourself in your business like that. Because, if they can't be committed to a spouse, how can you even, see them being committed to the business, or being committed um, to you, or being committed to the sellers or people that you're doing business with. And that goes for any business. Get excited about helping people, okay? Have a strategy to help them. Don't have an emotion to the business. Have an emotion to the people. Connect with them on an emotional level. And yes, we are real estate investors, so we're here to make money, because we're an investor. So you want a win-win solution. Help to make it a smooth transition. He even talked about how he has helped people get a U-Haul, or, gave them money for like first month's rent at another place to help them make it a smooth transition. You want to be micro learning. Connect with the seller. Put yourself in their shoes. Read books. Think and Grow Rich is a good book to read. How Many Works, the one we talked about. How to Influence People. That's a good one. And I think it's In Gain Friends. But if I did not pronounce that right, you can correct me. But we just went over the little small mini book of that not too long ago, and that was a good book. Be tenacious. Be determined. Speed and urgency is the new currency we're in, which we live in now, is speed and urgency. He said he's got a robot that calls them right away. If you wait a minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, you're waiting too long. You need to have some kind of AI generator that is going to call them. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. Wake up every morning at 6 a.m. ready. And there were a couple of Marines there, and they said, yeah, we woke up at 4 a.m. By 6 a.m., we're on our second cup of coffee. Michelle, the Triangle Media marketer, was there. That was great. The bottom of the MLS, it's always going to say reliable but not guaranteed. seek leadership and attorney in North Carolina. He gave us his attorney that he uses, who's been doing seller financing. And overall, this was an awesome event and so insightful. And I hope that you have a happy day investing. And remember, investing with God starts with God. So do things with integrity, do things with a good heart, and have a pure heart and clean hands. Have a great day. Be blessed.